Gentlemen, let me hit you with a truth bomb most men never hear until it's too late. A woman doesn't fall in love at the peak of pleasure. She falls in love at the edge of fear, the fear of losing you. Yes, you heard that right. Not when you're chasing. Not when you're always available. Not when you're begging for her time. She feels deepest when she fears she might not always have you. Today we're going to uncover the psychology behind that fear, and how you, as a man of value, can use this truth not to manipulate, but to lead with power, purpose, and confidence. When a woman senses she might lose you, her emotional investment increases. This isn't manipulation, it's basic human psychology. Think about it. We value what we fear losing. The same principle applies to dating and relationships. When you're always available, constantly chasing and giving her all your attention, without her earning it, she subconsciously begins to take you for granted. There's no emotional risk for her, no mystery, no tension. But when she feels, even just a little, that your attention isn't guaranteed, it triggers something deeper. Fear of loss activates a woman's emotional center. It doesn't mean playing games or being disrespectful. It means living your life with purpose and not centering everything around her. You become a challenge. You become the prize. And when a woman feels like she could lose someone of value, she starts to consider what that would actually mean for her emotionally. That's when feelings deepen. The truth is, women don't bond deeply with men who are always in their pocket. They bond with men who make them feel. Men who can evoke a range of emotions, including tension, anticipation, and even uncertainty. That emotional roller coaster creates attachment. When you're slightly elusive, slightly mysterious, and focused on your own life, she starts to invest emotionally because she doesn't feel like she fully has you yet. This isn't about pretending or faking distance. It's about being a man who genuinely values his time, his mission, and his energy, and who understands that overgiving too early kills attraction. When she knows she could lose you, she starts to see your value in a whole new light. And in that fear, strangely enough, she begins to feel love. Not from comfort, but from the tension of wanting to hold on to something she might not fully have. Most men think that constantly being available, texting all day, and showering a woman with attention is the way to build connection. But the truth is, always being present can actually weaken attraction if it's not balanced with space. Presence is powerful, yes, but only when it's rare enough to be appreciated. When you're always around, there's no room for her to miss you. And without absence, there's no longing, no tension, and no space for emotional desire to grow. This doesn't mean ghosting or withdrawing to play games. It means you must know when to engage and when to step back. Women are deeply responsive to emotional dynamics. When a man pulls away slightly, not in anger, but in self-assured focus, it gives her a moment to reflect, to wonder, and to start pursuing. That small distance becomes a mirror for her emotions. It forces her to check in with how much she actually wants you. The balance of presence and distance is what creates polarity. If you're constantly chasing, always the one initiating, always there no matter what, she will feel like she already has you, and the desire to earn your attention disappears. But when you're not afraid to create space, when you allow her to come toward you, she gets the chance to feel that your presence is earned, not given away freely. The real strength lies in your ability to hold your frame. If she tests you, with emotional distance, don't react by overcompensating. Stay grounded. Let her come back to you. When she realizes you won't beg for her attention, that you have the self-respect to walk your path with or without her, it triggers a different kind of interest, one rooted in respect, desire, and emotional depth. That's when presence becomes powerful. A woman falls deeply for the man she knows could walk away, but chooses to stay. This creates a powerful emotional contrast. When she knows you're not with her out of desperation, but out of true desire and intent, your presence becomes meaningful. Most men make the mistake of clinging too tightly, fearing that any sign of independence might scare her off. But ironically, it's that very independence that draws her in. Women are wired to seek out men who are in demand, who have options, and who command respect, not just from others, but from themselves. When a woman sees that you're capable of walking away if your standards aren't met, she perceives your loyalty as a conscious choice, not a need. That difference matters. If you're staying just because you're afraid of being alone or losing her, that energy repels her over time. But if you're with her because she aligns with your values, because she enhances your already full life, she feels special. She feels chosen. This kind of emotional posture, non-attachment, gives you an edge. It signals confidence, self-worth, and emotional control. You're not afraid of losing her, not because you don't care, but because you trust yourself enough to know you'll be fine either way. That's powerful. That's rare. And in today's world, rarity breeds desire. When she senses that you're not afraid to walk away from disrespect, inconsistency, or disinterest, it forces her to step up if she truly values you. It draws out her deeper emotions because she realizes that your presence is not something she can take for granted. And in that realization, love grows, not from comfort, but from the understanding that losing a man like you would be a real loss. When something is always available, it loses its perceived value. The same applies to how women experience emotional attraction. If you're constantly texting, always saying yes, or making yourself accessible at all times, you remove any sense of emotional tension. And without that tension, there's no spark, no excitement, just predictability. Love doesn't grow in predictability. It grows in contrast, in emotional highs and lows that make someone feel something real. Scarcity creates desire. When your time, attention, and presence are limited, not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely focused on your purpose, it sends a powerful message. Your life doesn't revolve around her, and that's attractive. It challenges her to earn your time rather than expect it. This subtle challenge triggers emotional engagement. It makes her wonder what you're doing, why you're not reaching out constantly, and what she needs to do to reconnect with you. This emotional tension is where desire builds. It's in the moments of wondering, in the gaps between your interactions, that her feelings start to deepen. Predictable affection is comfortable, but it doesn't create passion. Passion is born when there's something to reach for, when she feels like your attention is not a given, but a gift that can be earned. By being slightly less available, slightly more focused on yourself, you create space. And in that space, she has time to miss you, to think about you, to crave the connection. You stop being just another guy who's always there and start becoming the man she hopes to have more of. This doesn't mean ignoring her. It means being intentional, being balanced, and making your presence feel valuable. That's the emotional contrast that sparks attraction and keeps it alive. A man grounded in his masculine energy doesn't beg for love. He leads with it. He doesn't need constant validation because he's rooted in purpose, not approval. This kind of man naturally attracts women, not by chasing, but by being. When a woman senses that a man is driven, emotionally steady, and not afraid of being alone, she feels safe, inspired, and drawn to him. He becomes a source of strength, not a source of pressure. Women are biologically and emotionally tuned to follow the lead of a man who knows who he is. Masculine energy is calm, assertive, and forward-moving. It doesn't fold under pressure or react emotionally to every situation. Instead, it responds with clarity and confidence. When a man operates from this place, a woman feels like she can relax into her feminine energy, into her feelings, her expression, and her love, because she knows she's dealing with someone who won't fall apart if things get hard. A man who leads doesn't seek control. He offers direction. He doesn't chase love out of fear. He invites connection with authenticity. And he doesn't cling when things feel uncertain. He stands tall, knowing that what's meant for him will stay. This self-assurance is magnetic. It tells her that you're whole on your own, and that being with her is a choice, not a need. When you embody this energy, you stop trying to prove your worth and start living it. She feels the difference. Instead of wondering if you're good enough, she begins to ask herself if she measures up to you. That shift in dynamic is everything. It's not about domination, it's about leadership. And when she sees you're the kind of man who doesn't beg but inspires, she'll follow your lead, straight into connection, respect, and real love. So remember this, you don't win her heart by giving her everything. You win it by being everything, with or without her. Fear of loss, when felt subtly, makes her realize your value, your presence, your impact. And once she fears losing you, she'll do anything to keep you. Gentlemen, don't chase love. Become the man she fears to lose.